Hey everyone, my name is Louis and this video is part of our series on a complete guide to creating a brand identity, which I've divided into 4 easy and actionable steps, namely how to define your brand, how to design your brand, how to deliver your brand, and how to create your digital brand. And in today's video, you're going to be learning the 4th and final step of creating a brand identity, which is creating your digital brand. So without further ado, let's get branding. And for those of you new to the channel, this is the Ultimate Brand Bible, your ultimate space for free advice, tips, tricks, hacks, how-to guides, templates, and resources on branding to help you get your brand to the next level. And you can start that process for your brand today by hitting the subscribe button, and don't forget that little bell notification to make sure you don't miss any of the great stuff that we'll be putting out on a regular basis just for you. So, creating your digital brand. Let's get started. Once again, just like all the other videos in this series, if this is the first video you're watching in the series, you should not be watching this one right now because it's part of a series. We have 4 in the series on how to create your brand identity, which is define your brand, design your brand, deliver your brand, and creating your digital brand. If you have completed step 1, 2, and 3, you're in the right place. If not, I will let a card pop up here so you can go back to step 1, which is how to define your brand. Nonetheless, let's get into this. We're living in a digital age, and it's crucial for brands to have a good digital presence and to utilize this new medium to its fullest. I call it new because it's still, in the bigger span of things, it's still fairly new. Many online brands would be exclusively digital and would not need the deployment step. Like I said in the previous video, which is on how to deliver your brand. If you're an online store selling, ebooks, you most likely will need storefront signage, staff uniforms, letterheads, envelopes, business cards, and stuff like that. So the deployment stage or the delivery stage would not apply. This would also be true for freelancers, personal brands, a lot of personal brands, freelancers in the space. If you're a freelance writer, copywriter or graphic designer, you would most likely just spend the time on your digital brand. Nonetheless, the same steps you would need to follow to get there, which is to define and design your brand. The digital step includes the designing and development of your brand's website, social media accounts, social media marketing campaigns, search engine optimization strategies, etc. Website. The vast majority of companies that exist in the world today have a website where you can find information about them. It's also a way of contacting them. It's also the go-to source for most people when they want to find out more about your brand. This depends slightly. I think social media is also starting to play a bigger and bigger role, but it's safe to say in the corporate world, if somebody wants to know, if I want to know anything about a company, the first thing I would do is to type in the company name and put a .com next to it and hit enter and see what comes up. Or I'll go to Google and type in their company name and it might take me to the same place. It's also important to keep your website up to date with the correct information and to update your design every few years to keep up with changes in the web design industry. Now, you don't have to do this every year or even every few years, but I would say every 5 years at least look to see what's out there in the market, what kind of standards are being applied, have things changed dramatically. If you look at websites that are 10 years old and you look at it today, there's quite a big difference, and it's mainly because of the responsiveness. Mobile phones have developed quite a lot, so websites have been adapted to fit mobiles better. This is called responsiveness. You design the website for the PC, but once you open it on a mobile, the website automatically knows it's a mobile and it adapts its design responsively. So, and the mobile is just gonna carry on playing a bigger role. So if you have a website that's older than 10 years, update it. Nonetheless, social media is also a very powerful way of reaching, communicating, and convincing your customers to buy into your brand and your products or services. And I think there's even a lot of brands that have sprung up that's exclusively on social media, which is also possible. Once again, depending on your specific situation. Creating accounts on the most relevant platforms that relate to your business and invest your time and money into building up your audiences on those platforms. Now, the majority of social media platforms have some form of advertising system that you can tap into and reach a large number of potential customers with your ads at fairly low rates, which for some reason is not there. Nonetheless, it's quite cheap to advertise on social media if you look at your ROI. Once you configure your ads correctly, it could be very, very profitable to advertise in this way compared to traditional advertising means. And then we get to SEO, which is search engine optimization. What this basically is to optimize your content and your website for the Google search engine, so you could appear in the search engine results pages more frequently and higher, on that order or that hierarchy. So the main goal is to appear number one, because that's obviously the one that's going to be clicked the most. Now you can imagine if you're looking for a lawyer, you've got yourself into a bit of trouble and you need a lawyer, and you go to Google and you type in I need a lawyer and you press enter. Whoever comes up first, except for the ads, so the first that will come up is actually ads, and that was obviously paid for, so that's one way of doing it. But then you get to the organic results and there's going to be a few lawyers listed there, and you would want to be one of those. Now, there's ways of optimizing your website and your content for that in order to eventually achieve that. The most popular way of doing that is through blogging, which I won't be going into depth here, but check out for a video that's coming soon on where I just explain what is blogging, what is a blog, what is the difference between a blog and a website, and why that is important for your business. And then at a later stage, I'll also release an entire series of how to create your own blog to make a passive income, if that's something you want to do, or just to drive a lot of traffic to your business. So that's all coming up, so be sure to subscribe, like this video if you did, and till next time.